So this is where we left off yesterday. So when started, we set our speed, we drove forward for 400 millimeters, and that position where our robot is where we decided that's our starting position. So then we created our own block. So with the make block, the key thing is that you can add a name, you can add different inputs, and the inputs can be numbers or Boolean. For this, we're not bothering with text at all. So we created one called get disk that had a distance forward that was a number, a turn right that was a Boolean, and a distance sideways. And so then we had drive forward, which moved our robot up to this point, and then we just had a control statement. So if else, so if we're turning right, then we turn right, else we turn left. Then we drive forward for the sideways distance, which put us over the green block. We energized our magnet, we drove in reverse, and then we made that decision again of whether to turn right or left, and then we drove forward. So that stops us right here. So the next thing is we're going to have our own block to drop the disk. And there's a couple things in here. The first thing is that which color disk do we have? Blue, red, or green? So we're going to use a number, and it's just going to be position 1, 2, or 3. So we're going to create a block, and we're going to call this block drop disk. There's drop disk, and we're going to add a number, and we're just going to call it position. So there's our number, and we're going to define it. So what we want to do here is we want to make some decisions about where to go first off. So if we're in position 1, that's blue, our robot, if you're looking at it, it's going to need to turn right. So let's make a control block. And if else is only two conditions, but we can use the if to determine if we're going 3 positions. Now, we can't tell if a number is true or false, so we need to compare it. And if you look at the operators, you can see there's less than or greater than, less than, and equal. So we're going to check if position is equal to 1. Now, the nice thing is that we can duplicate that and drop it in here and check if position is 2. So if position is 1, I'm just going to add a little comment. What that means is that that's blue. And to keep ourselves organized, we're going to add a comment so we understand which one is blue, which one is red, and which one is green. So what we want to do is we want to get everything in this position. So the blue, we want to be right over here. The green, we want to be over here. And the red, we're already in that position. So for red, we're not going to do anything. Blue, we need to turn this direction. So if I'm looking at the front, I'm going that way. So that's turn right 90 degrees. So let's add that right now. And because if I'm going blue, I'm going right, for my green, I know that that's going to be the opposite direction. So it's just easy to do that right off the bat. So then how many steps? 200, 400, 600, 800. So I'm going to drive forward for 800. You can duplicate that block. I can add it to green because I'm the same distance away. So now I'm facing this direction and I want to turn that direction. So that's going to be turn left. And again, whatever I do for blue, I'm going to want to do the opposite for green. So that should get me facing where I want to go. So I'm going to take my get disk block. Whoops, not that one, my drop disk block. And the default is position 1. Because I'm getting the green block, I'm going to set it to position 3. So here we go. My robot goes, picks up the disk, and brilliant. I'm in position. I'm just going to do a quick test. If I have position 1, does it go towards the blue block? And that worked beautifully. And let's check position. So you'll see I'm testing as I go. So I know that all the code up to this point is perfect. Okay, so my next stage is that I'm in front of my squares. So 200, 400, that is the distance that I want to be able to go. So drive forward for 400, and it's the same for all three blocks. So that will put me within my square, and then I'm going to drop. So I need to get my magnet here, and I'm going to energize my magnet to drop. So there we go. So that will drop my magnet. Now, right off the bat, I know that I can back up. So I'm just going backwards now. So that's going to bring me back to this position. And what I'm going to do here, this is the tricky part. Um, I'm going to just duplicate this block, because what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to move backwards. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to test this and see what happens. So this is supposed to, so red, that worked beautifully. Um, the only problem is I didn't go as far as I should have. So there's 400. So that's good. Fix that. I'm going to try blue now. So let's try blue. Okay. So the first thing is that when I got to this point, I turned the wrong direction. So my second if statement here, I need to change my directions. So all I'm doing is reversing my directions. And let's try it now. And the only thing is this last turn is putting me in the wrong direction. So I'm just going to flip the last turn. And let's do one last test. And there we go. That seems to have caught it. Perfect. So blue works. I'm going to test how does green work. Whoops, I got to refresh. Perfect. And now here is the beauty, is that I can go, okay, my first block is this green block. So it's 300 and 300 to the right. So if I want to get another block, I can just add this, and I'm going to get the first blue box. So it's 300 squares, and it's false because I'm not turning right. I'm going to turn left, and then 300 squares. And when I drop the disk, it's in position 1. So if I run this now, I should get the green block to begin with, drop it off, and get the blue block, and drop it off. And it's as simple as that. So if I decide I'm going to get the red one, 500, so it's 200 millimeters more, and it's 200 millimeters more in that direction, and it's in position 2. So if I run this now, everything should work really smoothly. So that's the strategy. And your challenge is to be able to clear all of the disks. So the beauty is these disks, red, red, blue, blue, green, green, blue, blue, we can get those with this code simply by adding 2 blocks. Now red, you'll notice we didn't turn around. So I'll need to add a turn right in there, and I'll need to turn 180 degrees. But I'm going to let you figure that out. So we've got it. This makes it a lot easier to do the code because we're just adding 2 blocks each time we want to get a disk. Good luck with it.